I'm LouLabombard. I'm Seneca Mohawk. My people come from upstate New York, northeastern Canada or southeastern Canada. I've been telling stories for over 50 years now, and I've told stories from different Native American groups from all over the United States. I've told stories in Europe and in Asia, and most recently in New Zealand. So I usually tell stories about animals and people and how things came to be. And Native Americans tell stories about how things came to be, and each group has their own way of telling things. I was asked to tell some orca stories, and the orca myths and legends are from all the way up from Alaska all the way down into California, and they all differ from one respect to another. This particular story I'm going to tell you is about Nestalini, who was it's a Tlingit tale, and it's about a young man who lived at Cake, and he was a wonderful carver of poles and every other kind of thing that you use for wood carving. He was also a wonderful harpoon maker. He made harpoon seal harpoons. And he loved this young lady from another island, and he married her, and he went to live with her family. He was very, very interested in pleasing her family, so he did the best he could, and he was wholly accepted by her family, except for her brothers. He had one, the younger brother really liked him a lot, and he was very impressed with him. But the other three brothers were very jealous of his activities and his prowess, so they plotted against him. So the time of the great seal hunt came. Nestalini was out in the boat with the brothers, and he came to the great big rocks out in the straits, and there were seals on the rock, and he jumped off of the canoe and speared one of the seals, and the seal harpoon's point broke off, and the seal escaped. And just as he turned around, he saw that the canoe with the brothers in it was going away from the rocks, and the younger brother was asking for them to stop and go back and pick him up, but they kept on going, and they left him there on the rock, and he had no food and no weapons, nothing, and so he just kind of covered up his head up with a cloak. And later on in the morning, he heard a sound calling his name. And he looked, and there was a seal who had turned himself back into a man, and asked him if he could come and come and help the chief's son who had been hurt. So he went down into the kingdom of the seals, in which he found the young seal that he had speared was dying. So he cured the young man, got the seal point out of him, and cured him. And the seal chief was so happy about that he actually gave him extra powers and gave him safe passage back to the island, where he told his wife, don't say anything about anything. He took his woodworking tools and he went into the forest, and he took down a great yellow cedar, and he started carving the figure of a big, large fish. And it was and he covered it with black paint and called it a blackfish, and it had white streaks on the side. And he took it down to the ocean, and he put it in the ocean, and it turned alive and turned into the orca. And he told the orca, he says, when the brothers return, I want you to capsize their boat and take them out and save the younger brother, because he's a good man and I don't want you to hurt him. So this whale went out, capsized the boat, took out the brothers, except for the younger one, and gave them a trip back. And after that, a whale, this blackfish used to come back and forth and leave a seal or leave something on the beach for the people. And they all recognized the fact that he had done that, and so they took the killer whale as their crest. And that became the story of Nestalini. And they say that some of the Tlingits still say that every once in a while you can see a orca come by and Nestalini is riding him. And that's that story.
Can you tell us a bit about your association with the Water Festival?
Yes, I'm the Native American advisor to the Water Festival, which used to happen every summer in June. And my job was to kind of look at the cultural aspects of the activity and make sure everybody was culturally aware of things. And then I'm also the entertainment lead, so I contact the people who do the entertainment, and that's my job.
And what was your job in real life?
In real life, I was a college professor. I just retired after 28 years here, 5 years on a Navajo reservation, 3 years in San Antonio at St. Mary's University. I have a bachelor's degree in anthropology, a master's degree in sociology, and a PhD in anthropology. So,
Thank you. You have
welcome.
another story?
This is a real short one. There's a story about how the people that go out in their boats and they drown, they all become killer whales. And that's why the killer whales are often seen by the beaches, because they're looking for people. And Natsalini actually told the killer whale that he created not to eat people.
And what do the natives here call an orca?
I think it's literally translated as a blackfish.
And you said at one time that the word they use means people under the sea?
People under the sea. Blackfish, people under the sea. Because they were people.